जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जाऊं विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रवर्तक स्तोत्र शत श्री श्रीमद शिला भाई शरणविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय नामाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pashta Bhutale Shrimati Radharani Swami Niti Namini. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pashta Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadarine. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Behivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Transcendental Diaries by His Grace Hari Shauri Prabhu about Prabhupada's Leela. So we are reading from chapter 12 from Bombay, and we'll start with April the 13th, 1976. And we'll discuss along with this reading. And if you have any question, please don't hesitate and just ask. Don't wait till the end of the class, of the reading, of this discussion. On the walk along the sands of Juhu Beach, Dr. Patel suggested to Srila Prabhupada that he have a Sanskrit school in the new temple complex. Prabhupada said that he has no objection, but it is not essential since he has already translated so many Sanskrit texts into English, which any educated person can read. Dr. Patel still seemed to think that there was an advantage to reading the original language, but Prabhupada said that even so-called Sanskrit panditas cannot read it properly. Apart from that, it isn't just a question of understanding the language, it requires hearing attentively. The message of the Vedas is learned by hearing, not by studying. The message is to become Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. This very powerful message here. That our purpose is to become Krishna conscious, not to be learned. This learning comes alongside. by becoming Krishna conscious by itself. As it explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayatya Shubhairangyam Jnanam Chayata Hetukam. So Bhakti Yoga itself brings about renunciation and knowledge. So, of course, hearing is the first item of devotional service. Hearing is extremely important. Without hearing, there is no chanting. And of course, without chanting, there is no hearing. Because no one can hear if someone doesn't glorify the Lord, no one can hear. So, hearing and chanting go hand in hand. There is no one without the other. And it's of course beneficial to know Sanskrit, but it's not essential. It's not essential. And we will see that Prabhupada explains that here in his conversation with Dr. Patel, that he already translated books in English and also word by word. So anyone who wants to understand, he can understand from his books. And Prabhupada continues. He quoted a song by Srila Narottam Das Thakur that states that if one does not take to Krishna consciousness, he is knowingly committing suicide. Being absorbed in material affairs is exactly the same as drinking poison. This statement seems very strong, but it's reality, it's true. If we are not connected with the Lord, we are definitely connected with death itself. It cannot be otherwise. We can see by ourselves that everyone dies. Only the Lord is eternal, and the relationship with Him is eternal. And only in relationship with the Lord we can realize our eternality, in fact. Otherwise, we don't realize that we are eternal. We are afraid of losing our existence. So, yes, this is extremely important to become Krishna conscious. Otherwise, we are drinking poison and nothing else. All loving relationships devoid in our life because we think if we are a little bit in the mode of goodness, we think that relationships in this world will bring us happiness. And they do, to some extent. But they will help us to go deeper into material consciousness if we are devoid of Krishna consciousness. So even relationships, loving relationships in this world with our family members and relatives and friends are just drinking poison if they are devoid of Krishna consciousness. So Krishna consciousness means always thinking of Krishna. For if someone didn't know this, now we have Prabhupada's definition. What is Krishna consciousness? Always thinking of Krishna. But generally people do some meditation for 15 minutes and think of something else for 24 hours. And we know from our personal experience that even in these 15 minutes we think of something else many times. So it's nearly 24 hours thinking of something else if we are really not, if we don't go deep, and only by fixed chanting we can go deep, and dedication to kirtan. The holy name is the only way to go really deep. We can also hear attentively and read attentively. This also we can also go deep with this, but without chanting no one can really go deep into hearing and reading. Prabhupada described a personal experience he had with Mohandas K. Gandhi. I have seen Gandhi's prayer meeting. I attended. At most 5 minutes reading Bhagavad Gita, then again politics. What's the use of such reading Bhagavad Gita? It's just an ornament on the dead body. Nothing else. Just to have some advertisement. Yes, we are devoted to Bhagavad Gita. For 5 minutes maybe. And then politics. Immediately, he said. Immediately politics. I was in Delhi. I attended the meeting when Noah Kali prayers. This was his prayer. I have seen. And as a result of this, in that prayer meeting, he was killed. He could not chant the holy name. So what's the use of all politics? What's the use if we save all world? So-called save. Jesus also said, what's the use if we gain all world, but if we lose our soul? No use at all. We are just puppets in the hands of Maya, in the hands of death itself. So we should become Krishna conscious. Regarding Dr. Patel's suggestion for learning Sanskrit, Prabhupada concluded that if a student is serious, he can learn simply from reading his books, because in them he has given the word meanings. After studying a few sentences, one can understand the verb, the subject, object, and so forth. Prabhupada told Dr. Patel that if he would have had more time, he would have made a Sanskrit grammar based on Bhagavad Gita. But now he's too busy. He suggested Dr. Patel to do it, since he knows both Sanskrit and English. Here we can see how Prabhupada encouraged everyone in devotional service according to his propensity. Because Dr. Patel, he wasn't really a devotee, we can see. But nevertheless, he encouraged him to help him in his mission. Also, he asked Hayagriva to edit his books, but Hayagriva just first met him and he didn't had any idea about devotional service. And he even had Mayavadi concepts of spirituality. But nonetheless, Prabhupada immediately engaged him in devotional service. So this is also our duty, to engage everyone in devotional service as far as we can. And according to this person's abilities, then he or she can be satisfied. And these are Prabhupada's words. You can do that. People will read it, Bhagavad Gita grammar. On the Bhagavad Gita, teach them grammar. Just like Jiva Goswami compiled Hari Namamrita, Vyakarana. Similarly, you write. You have the knowledge of Sanskrit, and through English, teach it using Bhagavad Gita grammar. People will take it. So we should also encourage others, as I said. And of course, even if we don't study Sanskrit, based on Bhagavad Gita, we can study verses of Bhagavad Gita translated by Srila Prabhupada, word by word meaning, and we can know many things. By learning verses, I remembered many meanings of words. So it's very beneficial. So you can go deeper in verses like this. When you see the same word in some other verse translated differently, then you have broader understanding of this same word, and you can even go deeper in translations themselves. So I encourage you to go deep in your readings of Srila Prabhupada's books. In today's class from Srimad Bhagavatam 7.12.2, we continued on with hearing a description of the activities to be performed by the brahmachari student. This 12th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, begins with description of brahmachari. Brahmachari guru kule vansandanto gurorhitam acharan dasavanicho guru sudrita sauhrida. So brahmachari should live in Gurukula, is it explained in this verse, and be very meek and humble and serve his guru, and do everything for him, just for him, so without any personal interest. And this is required because nowadays everyone is trained to be selfish from very early childhood. Whatever child wants, usually his or her demands are fulfilled immediately. Or if not immediately, then the child protests and then we submit. But here we can see they trained brahmacharis to be very humble and meek and to serve. And this is the most precious gift, to become a servant, to be trained as a servant. If we are not servants, then we think that we are masters. But we are not masters. This is a great illusion. So, from the early childhood, we should be trained that we are servants. Kaumara acharit pragyo dharmam bhagavataniha durlabhak manushan janma tadapya dhruvam arthatam, says Prahlad Maharaj. That from earliest childhood we should be trained that we are servants. Because what is Bhagavad Dharma? It means service attitude. Nothing else. Service, Bhagavad Dharma. Yeah. Serving to the Lord. Jivara Swarupa Hoy Krishna Nitya Das. So this is our Dharma, to be servants. And if we are not trained, I don't know about English, but in Slovenian we have a saying, whatever Johnny learns, that John knows. Do you have something similar in English? That means whatever young boy learns, that grown up man knows. So if we learn to be servants, then we'll know that we are servants when we are grown up. But if we learn that we are masters, how difficult it is to learn that we are servants later on. Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Shri Giri Govardhan ki jai, Shri Gaura Hari ki jai, Nitai Gaur Pramanandi Hari Hari Bol. It's extremely difficult, and it's also said that it's very difficult to learn, to teach old horse a new trick. So, if we joined later on in our life, and if we are taught later on in our life to be servants, it's very difficult for us to learn these new tricks. Yes, so we should learn from earliest childhood to be a servant. And this is our service to our children, that we teach them to be servants. So if we try to give them everything according to their whims, we are doing disservice to them. Most terrible disservice, in fact, because this thinking of us as masters is death personified. In today's class from the Srimad Bhagavatam, we already this. So Prabhupada stressed the development of character is the first stage of training, because without good character, everything else is useless. He told the story called Punarmushika Bhava. Again, you become a mouse. I believe you all know this story. And here is extremely important what Prabhupada stressed. The development of character is the first stage of training. So, without good character, everything else is useless. Everything else is useless. So we can be learned philosophers, know every verse from Bhagavad Gita by heart, or even Srimad Bhagavatam, 18,000 verses by heart. But what's the use if we don't develop good character? And good character is to be honest and sincere and servant of Lord and Vaishnavas, and in fact of all living entities. Because all living entities are parts and parcels of the Lord. And so, because we are Lord's servants, we are servants of every living entity. If not, we maintain this pritak bhava, separate identity from the Lord, because we don't see every living entity connected with the Lord. And immediately there is raga and dvesha. So we are attached to something that we think that supports our existence, that brings us happiness in this existence, and we hate other things and other people, our living entities, that we believe that endanger our existence. So yes, we should develop good character, and good character is to know that we are just servants. And to be honest means that we walk our talk. And to be sincere is to be honest to yourself. Yes. That we really honestly want to achieve what we think is good. And we believe in Krishna's words. And this story, Punarmushika Bhava, is basically, you know all this story? So, it's basically cheating mentality and exploitative mentality. So I want to exploit you, and in the end I want to devour you. When you cannot help me anymore, I'll just devour you. And we can see this in this world so many times. Killing of cows is the same business. First we exploit by taking milk for our selfish purposes, not for offering to Shri Radhanath, but for our selfish purposes, and when the cow is too old to give milk, we just kill it. It's demoniac. So this Punarmushika Bhava describes our demoniac mentality. So we shouldn't keep this demonic mentality. But we have demoniac mentality unless we become Krishna conscious. It's unavoidable, Because all relationships in this world are based on this mutual exploitation. If there is not Krishna in the center of our relationships. All relationships in this world, even between husband and wife, or mother and her child, also. Only saints don't have this exploitative mentality. They just want to give them to other living entities something most beneficial, without any expectations for themselves. A mouse, and here's the story. A mouse was being chased by cats, so by the grace of a great sage, he was transformed into a cat. Then he had trouble with dogs, and again the sage transformed him, this time into a dog. In this way, eventually he was changed into a powerful tiger. But then he looked hungrily at the same sage who had elevated him. Instantly, the sage turned him back into a mouse. So, we can become very powerful by the help of others, and then we are just turned back into a mouse. Yes. To a small, helpless baby again. If you are lucky, that we can become a human baby. We can become a cockroach or whatever. Hare Krishna. The idea is that by the grace of a higher power, one may be elevated to a higher position in life. But if one abuses the privilege, then again the opportunity may be withdrawn. Scorning the material scientists, Prabhupada told us not to misuse our human form of life. So our civilization is like that in the gradual process of evolution, we have come to the platform of human being. This human being is meant for understanding God, but they are forgetting God. Therefore, the next stage is Purna Mushika Bhava, again become monkey. That is awaiting us. The nature's law is like that from monkey we have become human being, and in the human being we are dancing like monkey. So nature will say, all right, again you become monkey. Hare Krishna. Yes. So, we abuse our knowledge, everything. We can see this civilization is abusing everything. Everything we receive from nature. But we act against the nature in the same way we act against cows and other things. For example, there is a Chinese saying, maybe you have heard. It's easier to put on slippers than all world covered with carpets. But we don't just cover the world with carpets. We break mountains to put our roads. and we drill through mountains and make big bridges across valleys. And we destroy everything just for our path. This civilization is completely crazy, demoniac, and just driven on greed. Everyone is exploited because of this greedy mentality. So if you have any question or comment, please don't hesitate. He told us that a devotee also has the potential to return to his origins. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that if one prepares himself correctly, one can go to the heavenly planets, to the abode of demigods, or even beyond to the spiritual realm. This Krishna consciousness movement is simply a very scientific movement that will help the human society not to be degraded again, to be elevated. Krishna says, if you prepare yourself to come to me, back to home, back to Godhead, you can do that. So what should be our aim of life? We shall go to the higher planetary system, or back to home, back to Godhead. Back, we say, because we have come from God. We have come from God. Yes. I'm coming from scientific family, and I was a staunch believer in science. And therefore, I was attracted to Krishna consciousness and Prabhupada's books, because he was explaining spirituality in a scientific way. Prabhupada was really a genius. No previous acharya explained in this language. Of course, if we go deeply in writings of our acharyas, there are most scientific works in this world. The most high scientific works. For example, I know some devotee from Croatia. He's PhD on anthropology. And he became just recently a devotee. And when he read Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu of Srila Rupa Goswami, he said that there is no such scientific book on science of human relationship as it is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So he was extremely impressed, but it's much higher than any PhD of nowadays. In scientific terms, not just devotional terms. So, but they were not discussing in this manner, but Prabhupada did, and so he attracted many Westerners because of this, because Westerners are believers in science. And Prabhupada always stressed this, that Krishna consciousness movement is a very scientific movement. And he explained everything very systematically in a scientific way. And we should follow his example also in our preaching efforts. This process is, in fact, very scientific. Just like a man is put in the prison house, he has come from his free home. By his work, he is a criminal. Therefore, he is put into the prison house. Similarly, we are all part and parcel of God. Our real home is Vaikuntha. But we have come here. How we have come, that is a very mysterious thing. But we are part and parcel. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung, Anadi karma pale, puri bhavanarnava jale. Somehow or other we have fallen. Therefore, the real aim of life, how to get out of this bhavarnava, nescience, that is the aim of life. So, we should know that is the aim of life, that we go out of this illusion. Because material life is nothing but illusion. Everything we have here is illusion. Our body is illusion because it's made of gunas. And gunas are material energy. And material energy is Maya. So our body is illusion. Our thoughts are illusion. Our mind is illusion. And of course, our false ego is also illusion. So, if you don't become Krishna conscious, everything is just illusion. And our relationships are illusion. Our perception is illusion. For example, here I can see you, or at least I think I can see you. But even from material point of view, body is always changing, isn't it true? So, always changing. It's not a moment that is not change. There is no change. So, always changing. And the light has some, it takes some time from light to come from your body to my eye. So there was some change in your body that it occurred during this time that light goes from your body to my eye. So what I see is not longer there. You understand? This change is extremely insignificant, we can say, but there is change. So we see just illusion. Not even this, what I can see, it's reality. It's just illusion. Already changed. It's already past. Not non-existent anymore in the way I can see. So, if we don't become Krishna conscious, we live in complete illusion. Through and through. So, better to become Krishna conscious. How long we should go? Till 8:30? Okay. The verse mentioned the importance of worshipping the Guru. Yes, this is 7:12:2 speaks about how we should worship the Guru in the morning and evening sandhyas for brahmachari. And so here's referring to the verse. The verse mentioned the importance of worshipping the Guru, and Prabhupada stressed this as the most important aspect of human life, worshipping the Guru. Yes, he also explained who is a real Guru. If you have not real Guru, and if you follow him, then your life, if you have got real Guru, and if you follow him, then your life is successful. There is no doubt. But if you have a so-called bogus Guru, without any knowledge of the Shastra, then your life will be spoiled. Especially the Mayavadi Guru, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has warned. Mayavadi Guru means one who thinks that everyone is God. If you approach such Guru, then your life is spoiled. Mayavadi Bhashya Shunile Hoy Sarvanasha. Finished. Your spiritual progress finished. Yes. So we should know Guru is of extreme importance, most important in our life. Not just because we receive spiritual knowledge from him. Of course, it's important to receive spiritual knowledge and understanding. But one can say, I can read Prabhupada's books and books of other acharyas, and I receive complete knowledge from these books. Why should I accept a guru? But to accept a guru, that means that we submit our ego for the first time in the history of our existence. So we put ourselves out of the center and we put our guru in the center. We can say that we put Krishna in the center, but if we don't accept guru, this is just another lie. just another lie. Therefore, Krishna established this principle that we should accept Guru. Acharya mam vijanayon navan manita karhichit. Namartya buddhya suyeta sarva deva maya guru. So I am the Acharya. I am Guru, says Krishna. So we should know the Guru is not an ordinary human being. He is Krishna's representative. And therefore Krishna decides to act through Guru. So only through Guru Krishna is willing to act upon us, if we accept him. So we accept Krishna if we accept Guru. If we reject Guru, we reject Krishna. Or if we have a Guru just for some fashion, then Krishna will be just a mannequin. So then Krishna is a mannequin here. So we can show, yes, this is my God. This is just a puppet, nothing else, just a statue, not real God. So if we accept Guru, then Krishna accepts us. Otherwise not. Hare Krishna. Is there any question or comment? Please don't be shy. You have questions all the time, so. Hare Krishna. Sorry, I couldn't hear you very well.
Okay. So I was saying, how do we know that we put our Guru in the center of our lives?
That we follow his instructions. This is most important. Guru says that we should follow 4 regulative principles and that we chant at least 16 rounds without offense. So this is the preliminary worship of Guru by following his instructions. And maybe he gave us also some other instructions in life. So we should follow this with all our heart. We can see example of Srila Prabhupada. He prepared all his life to follow his Guru's instructions. And we should hear from Guru in submissive mentality and try to serve him by serving his devotees and serving every living entity, in fact, according to his wish. Because Guru's purpose is to make everyone happy. Sarve Sukhino Bhavantu. This is the purpose of Krishna consciousness. That's why Prabhupada said, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. This is not just some fancy t-shirt statement, but has deep meaning. We should know, because everyone is miserable, is not happy. So the purpose of Guru is for everyone to become happy. And our mission should be to make every living entity happy, as far as we can. So that doesn't mean that we serve them according to their whims of their crazy mentality, because they're they're sick. They're not healthy, and so they have wrong mm, um, ideas what will make them happy. So our duty is to help them in such a way that they can become cured. The doctor in the hospital doesn't help you in the way you want, but he helps you in the way it's most beneficial for your health. So we should act most beneficially for every living entity. And of course, because we are in the movement of Lord Chaitanya, we should know that this is by spreading Lord Krishna's names is most beneficial. And that if we want to spread Krishna's names, we should spread them first to ourselves. Because we cannot save anyone if we are not saved ourselves. So we should take this chanting of the holy names very seriously, very seriously. Devote ourselves to chanting. If we chant with distractions, we cannot go deep into chanting. We don't help ourselves. We cannot help anyone. So I'm stressing this because it's so important, and I can see that many devotees don't realize this. At least in the West, it's like this. I don't know how it's here. But the phone is our worst enemy in chanting. So put it away when you chant. Far away. Switch it off and lock in another room. Yes. It's our worst enemy. And we should chant early enough that others will not bother us. If someone comes to us and asking different questions, it's also disturbance. We cannot go deep in our chanting. So chant early in the morning, before anyone will disturb us. Yes. So, and take this seriously in your life. It's not a joke. This chanting, it's the only way to approach Krishna. It's our only connection with Krishna, is this chanting. This is the only spiritual vow we give to our spiritual master. These four regulative principles are just not to live sinfully. It's just to give up sinful life. But spiritual vow is just to chant without offense. And this is deep, because offense is also keeping material desires, attachments to material things. It's also an offense to the holy name. So, just this vow of chanting is extremely deep if we take it seriously. If we go through offenses, we can see what this means. Yes. So if we pray to Lord to help us in some material way, to make us healthy, or to make our dear ones healthy, or to help us for getting good grades in school, this is material desire, and we think that chanting of the holy name is one of activities of karma kanda, because karma kanda is meant for material prosperity. So it's offensive. So we can serve Guru especially if we understand what is spiritual life. to take it very seriously and try to spread this movement as far and wide we can for His pleasure. We should take this as a mission of our life. Hare Krishna. Anything else? So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Pramanande.